all to the live stream. Waiting for you all to kind of get in here. Tell me where you're from in the chat, please. Where are you from and how are you holding up with everything going on with this furlough, with this government shutdown? Let me get myself set up here on my little tablet here. But yeah, where are you from? And also, how are you coping with everything going on right now? So this furlough, let me cut this down. Okay, is it down? Yes. All right. So I wanted to kind of just, check in with everyone and just see how everybody was doing because today is like the 35th day of the current shutdown, which is now tied with the one from 2018 and 2019 as the longest to occur in U.S. history. So I figured why not check in with you all midday and see how everyone was doing. So that is the purpose. But I want to give people a little bit of time to get plugged in. Let's see. All right. But yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, so what have I been doing? Well, I have used this time of furlough, as I have said in several of my live streams, I've used the furlough as a time of reset where I have been focused on like doing things around my home, doing things for personal growth and development, as well as, kind of locking in more with my social media stuff, like with my YouTube page. So those are things I have been working on because I wanted to be productive during this time. I didn't want to be, kind of, and I didn't want to have to sit here and just look at the news every day just to kind of see what's going on, with Congress and if they're making any progress with, trying to move the needle forward when it comes to getting us out of this shutdown. But I will tell you that I did know up front that we were probably going to at least make it to day 35 because I figured they're going to try to at least meet or exceed what was the longest figure at the time. So as you know now, I feel like this is going to be the longest one because there is no resolution in sight from what I'm seeing as far as what's going on, with this shutdown. So wanted to kind of have a little chat with you all, see how you guys were doing, what you've been up to as far as, coping, if you will. And yeah, tell me in the chat where are you from and how are you holding up during this time of change right now. I know I got some new people in here, but yeah, what I was saying is what I've been kind of doing as a starting point. So like, yeah, I kind of figured it was going to be, more than 35 days. Today's day 35. So right now we have the 2018, 2019 shutdown, and this one is kind of being, tied, if you will. So yeah, this is gonna go in the books as the longest one, I'm thinking, and I don't think we're gonna go back into the office until probably around, at earliest, I would say maybe mid-November. I could be wrong. I'm not in Congress or anything. I'm just, saying what I'm saying here. Okay, we have Big Back here. Okay, how you doing, sir? How you doing? Where are you from? Yes, welcome to the live stream. Glad you decided to stop in. But yeah, I'm just here chatting. No real. This is not like a talk show or anything. I'm just here to kind of dialogue and communicate. We can talk about whatever you guys want to for the most part. But yeah, if you're here, please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support. I truly do. But yeah, y'all. So things I've been doing, like, you know what? I wanted to really like spend time with my social media stuff, like with YouTube. So with YouTube, I've been doing more videos and I started doing live streams like this one here. So I went from only doing them when I was out with friends to now doing them on my own, like what I'm doing right now. So yeah, so I've been trying to push myself a little bit, get outside my comfort zone and do something different. So yeah, so I've done about 5 or 6 live streams in the month of October, and I plan on doing them at least once a week um, through the end of the year. So typically I do them on like Thursdays at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah. So been kind of, playing around with dates and times. I mean, I'm off right now, so why not go on live real quick because I have the time to do so. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, for those who are here, thank you guys for showing up to the live stream. Please put down where you're from, or put down a question in the chat if you feel so inclined. It'll be greatly appreciated. But yes, so other than that, I have been doing a little bit of sightseeing, around the DMV area. I've been here for about a year. And so, been here for about a year, started just trying to see more of the area. Always wanted to live here, work here, and saw that opportunity. So I said, you know what? I have a lot of time now. Why not go out here and see a little bit more of what's there to be offered in the DMV area? So that is what I have been doing as well, during this time of furlough. But yes, y'all, what have you all been doing with your time off? How are you guys holding up? And what are your thoughts on everything? And there is a delay between when I get the comments and when I actually can, when you put them into the system and when I can actually see them. But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, I think there's like a big press conference at about, I want to say in about 23 minutes. I'm interested to hear what's going to be said at that regarding everything. I did see where the president requested for the nuclear option to be um, to be used. So to my understanding, the nuclear option is when they could go ahead and pass something with majority, simple majority. Um, where they will not require the other party to, I guess, participate, so to speak, where they can just go ahead and do what they need to do without having those additional 5 votes they've been talking about for the last month. So I did see where that was being requested over the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see, if that actually goes into effect. And why is that? Because basically, right now the Republicans are, they are, they own, the presidency, the House and Senate. But, at some point the ties may change, but the Democrats may own it. And at that point, it's going to be, well, if they have the ability to do a majority and not take into consideration what the other party um, concerns are, that won't be good either way. So I personally think that having the check and balance is kind of a good thing, but it will be, I think, most preferred if we could get both sides kind of communicating on a way forward, right? So that's just my little 2 cents. What do you guys think? Put your comments in the chat if you don't mind. But yeah, so let's see. Okay, we still got Big Back here. Talking about, hey, all right. Well, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support that you want to provide. But yeah, so I guess what I would also say here is that, there's a lot of uncertainty here. I've had friends contact me and they were saying how, they weren't sure how they were going to, pay their bills and whatnot. So I hope that that's not the case for everyone. And I'm sure with us approaching not receiving our second paycheck, and on top of that, the first paycheck was about, it wasn't 100% either. So we've gotten three since October 1st. So, we will have gotten three by October, at the end of the month. Let me restate that. So since October 1st, the first paycheck was not full. It was a partial paycheck. Then the second one that we got was not existent, and then the third one that we're going to get is going to be non-existent as well, considering where we are here. So okay, how you doing, Mr. Lou? You know it. Where them fans at? Whoo, I need to order one. Yes. But yeah, so like I was saying earlier, today is oh yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe for those who are here. Thank you for your support. But yeah, so we've gotten no checks really. And so I know for me, my pay week is this week. So that's gonna also be zero for a paycheck also. And so I need to go pull my LES and see, all the zeros and the dashes. I was told that that's how it kind of looks right now. I haven't pulled one since I started, since I've been on this mandatory vacation. But yes, y'all. So yeah, so I did know that I haven't signed a second letter, but I was told or I've seen that the second letter that they put out, I think yesterday, shows that the language regarding the guaranteed back pay has been pulled. So, have you all seen any of that in your documentation? Because I haven't looked at it. So, okay, so let me see. Okay, YouTube has given me a sticker to put on here for you guys to respond to. So we'll see how this works. I tried it this past Friday and I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to get it off the screen. But yeah, so how can we move this out the way? Why is it here over my face? We're going to end that. Okay. But anyway, let me get that out the way. So, how are you guys holding up with everything? If you care to share. But what I was saying and getting at is, I had friends telling me about how, they weren't able to pay their bills and stuff. So, I'm sure you know by now that a lot of the credit unions are, offering those furlough loans. They're also offering like the paycheck assistance, where they're giving you your paycheck basically, but they're going to take it back once you get your direct deposit from your first paycheck once the shutdown ends. But they have those opportunities. And yeah, a lot of these different companies like creditors and whatnot, mortgage companies, they are offering things to kind of help where they can, but that help isn't going to last. It's not going to be enduring, in my opinion. I think that at some point they're going to be like, you know what, I know you're furloughed, but we need this money. So hopefully people are kind of looking into what they can do for those things. And also, unemployment, as a government employee, you are eligible to get unemployment for your various states for those who have not done that. I had a friend that I told that to, the one that called me saying, that she um, wasn't sure she was going to pay her bills and stuff. And I, suggested, you can do the unemployment. And she was like, I don't want that little bit of money, is what she told me. So, I was done talking about that. Because at the end of the day, whether or not, I mean, yeah, I get that your paycheck is normally a lot more. But if you're having problems, trying to pay your bills, right? Wouldn't you want funds to come from wherever, if the money is available to you? Like, maybe I'm confused. Somebody give me some insight on that concept in the chat, please. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people that I have talked to, they um, they are very much so opposed to putting in for unemployment. I don't understand. I mean, yes, if you do put in for it, you are going to have to pay it back essentially, but it's still an option for those who need it. I mean, if you don't need the money, then I get it. Same thing when people are going out here to these different um food pantry locations, like yeah, like if you need to get the food, like go ahead and get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so have you guys dealt with people that have had that kind of response when it comes to like, assistance during this time? And what are you guys doing as far as like coping with everything? Let's see if anybody puts anything in the chat with that. There is a delay. But yeah, so those are some of the things I've been dealing with as far as like people that I know that are that are experiencing this. So, and it's really no end in sight, in my opinion. I was hopeful that maybe it'll be over with by mid-November, but today I'm not so sure about mid-November. But we'll take it day by day and kind of see, what happens with that. But but what I will say to you is that if you are experiencing this, which you probably are if you're listening to this live stream right now, I would suggest not to spend all day like looking at the news, but to find different things to do. So I have been finding a lot of comfort in like going on walks in my neighborhood. It's good for my health, also good for the mind, because you get out there walking and you get to also like, just do a lot of deep thinking, a lot of strategizing, if you will. So that's always a good thing. And to my understanding, when it comes to our like medical benefits, that we still have our full medical benefits during this time, that they will take out those fees out of our check once we get our actual back pay. So that was good to know as well. But yeah, so what are you guys been experiencing here? So so you know what, this might be a good day for me to be a good time, because usually I have more of the trolls that come on my Thursday nights, but on my Friday night and today, y'all been pretty chill. So that's not a bad thing. But yeah, so if you're here, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate the support and everything. But yeah, like I had said before, in case you guys weren't here, what I have chosen to do during this time of furlough has been mostly like focus on getting things done at home, getting me a lot of nice rest that was well needed. And also I started watching this series on Netflix because I started watching it originally last year, and then you know how with Netflix they have like different they put out so many of the episodes at a time, you know. So yes, so I was watching Beauty in Black. A gentleman that was on a previous live stream was telling me, about it. And so yeah, they have. I think I'm watching the second season now. And let me tell you, that whole show, it is good. I mean, I started watching it yesterday, and that's all I can think about looking at right now. I got to get through whatever's available on the Netflix, okay? But it is a Tyler Perry production, and I feel like it's one of his better productions, actually, in my opinion. I did watch, a lot of his Medea stuff back in the day. Went to a play in person, but I really like what he's doing with this Beauty in Black show. But yes, y'all, it is wild, okay? And yes, it is wild. It is very interesting. It reminds me of Dallas, that show from back in the day, but it's like modernized and it's cutthroat with this family on this show here. Okay, let me tell you, you got a lot going on in there, but let me tell you, it's interesting, and I've been really enjoying it so far. So yes, so yeah, I've been catching up on that show, and honestly, I don't watch a lot of Netflix. Even have an account, but that was kind of like my first time during this time of furlough, actually just sitting down, like really watching and enjoying a show. So, what have you guys been doing? Put that in the chat. Have you been watching any shows? Have you been cleaning up the house? Have you been on vacation? What have you guys been doing like during this time? Let me know. Because for me, started watching the show yesterday. Um, I have a loft area. I've been trying to get that organized. It should be done by now, but I got so focused on trying to you know, do content, try to increase the content and see what I can make happen with the channel if I had like full time to do it. So yeah, so I kind of did some different things like with the different videos. Like I did some vlogs of me going like to Glenstone Museum, which is very nice. Also did vlogs of me going to a foodie festival, going to the room recess event, different stuff that I've been into. So I've been keeping it kind of local to the DMV area, opposed to like venturing out, doing stuff. But I may take a trip home during this time. So we'll see um, when I get that schedule. Because right now, with everything going on, at the airports, particularly at the Atlanta airport, Hartsfield, it's like craziness there, to my understanding, what I'm seeing online, right? So, have any of you guys taken any kind of trip since the furlough has started, like a plane ride? And if you did, like, what did you experience, at the airport as far as like your wait times and TSA and things like that? Because I've been hearing all about these delays and things of that nature, and I'm like, wow, I don't be bothered with that. And I had one friend, she went to Illinois, and she was saying that she didn't have any issues, but that was kind of like at the very beginning of everything. I don't think she's been anywhere since she came back from her first trip. But if you've been anywhere, like let me know how things are going for you out there. But also, like so no, there are no comments here. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me check over here. Oh no, 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 no. So that's accurate. But yeah, so I don't know, y'all. So when do you guys think they're gonna be done with this all this furlough shutdown business? Do you guys have any projections that you want to share in the chat? Let's see if anybody's going to say anything here. I guess not. But that's okay. I can just sit here and talk, not a problem. But yeah, y'all. So I ran across this show. I don't know if it's a show or a channel. I think it's called RSBN, and it's based out of Alabama, where I'm from. And I guess you guys heard of Turning Point. Mr. Charlie Kirk that passed away was had I think he was the founder of that. And my understanding is that they're going to be in Auburn, Alabama tomorrow doing a stop at the university there. So I thought that was interesting that they're doing like a tour of sorts since his passing, going to various schools. And I saw what the gentleman was saying that they were at Ole Miss recently. So that's very interesting that they're doing that. In my opinion, so soon after his passing. But I guess they are very passionate about this the mission of the Turning Point. Let me see what we got here. Oh, Smooth is here. How you doing, Smooth Will? Thank you for supporting the channel and coming out. Oh, this lovely woman is Tip Tigress. Hello, sweetness. Lord, Smooth Will. I see why you got that name, Smooth Will, because you be talking smooth, I see. But yes, welcome to the live stream. I decided to do a little something midday. Since today is like the 35th day of the shutdown, and as you may or may not know, that this is now tied with the longest one. That was the 2018-2019 government shutdown. It was actually a partial shutdown at that time. This one is a full shutdown because no one is getting paid. Yes, they are finding ways to pay the military, which that's very interesting considering that you know, they always say, well, we need to pay the military as if there's no other way to do that. But yet they have found such a way twice during this particular furlough, which is very interesting. And I did see where they are funding, I think, half of the benefits for SNAP this month. So to my understanding, it's going to be an issue with people getting those funds because the systems are so antiquated at the state level that they have to figure out how to reprogram them to issue out half of the funding opposed to the full amount to those individuals. That's very intriguing. I've never really paid much attention to the SNAP program and how that's funded. So I was hearing that it's tied to USDA, and I was like, wow, I never would have guessed that, but okay, that's what they're doing. But I will also tell you what I have found to be quite interesting is the number of um, men, I will say, that have gotten online and that have made these comments saying that, you know, they are so elated that the SNAP program is unfunded and how they feel that they can now get a woman because she no longer has access to the benefits. Okay, have you all seen that on the TikTok or on social media? Smooth Will says, "I hope you get back to work soon. I really do. The money can't be stopping like this, too. It's really effed up." I mean, yeah, but it is not the best of situations. But I mean, it's just interesting how they aren't really talking right now. So I don't know how you can get to a solution or a resolution if there's no one, communicating on such. Now, I said it a few weeks ago that they really needed to bring, I want to say the House back because, the CR that they have in place right now is only good until November 21st, even if it is, signed. So you sign it today, which they're probably not. And so you start back work on the 5th, and then they're not going to have enough time between now and the 21st to come up with anything new that's going to be enduring, right? So you're going to be back at this situation again. So I don't really understand. I understand why the House Speaker did not want to bring people back into the House because he was making a point. I said, but there comes a time where you got to realize, you know what, we really need to come back so we can put something else out because 21 November, if you really needed a month and a half essentially to get something more permanent, every day the lockdown happens, that's chipping away at that time block, right? So at some point they have to come back in order to have these discussions to move something forward. So this whole power move thing is quite entertaining, I guess you can say. So we have Dennis here with the hearts. Welcome to the live stream, Dennis. Glad you're here. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel. We appreciate that here. But back to what I was saying regarding like the SNAP benefits. Like you have men out here very excited about women losing these benefits. And it's particular African American men that are saying this. I mean, do they not realize that there are more women that are non-black, non-African American that receive these benefits? Like, I don't understand. And then, and there are men that also receive these benefits. Okay, it is. Now, I saw where this one gentleman said, it was Anton Daniels to be specific. I was watching his show yesterday, and he was talking about, well, women have been saying they have all these degrees and they don't need no man and da 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 da. Well, I don't have the demographic stats of the people that are on that get SNAP assistance, but I would believe that there are probably not many women that have degrees and whatnot that are receiving these SNAP benefits. That's an assumption that's an assumption I'm going to make. I don't think that the women that are receiving these EBT benefits are the ones that he's referring to that are saying that they are boss chicks, that they have degrees, that the most educated. I don't think that's the same group of women that are saying that. That's just me putting it out there from my perspective. So Smooth Will says it's just pathetic the men saying this. It's not only pathetic, but it just shows how desperate that they are, in my opinion. I mean, you have got to be pretty desperate to be elated that these women are only going to be with you because of a lack of food, because of food insecurity. How many men do we have come on this platform of the internet and talk about how they feel like women only want them for their resources? How many men do we see that come out here and say this on this internet? Quite a few do, right? So you have those men, and I know there are different categories of men, right? So you have men saying, and I'm gonna repeat this because it's mind-boggling to me how you have men that come out here and complain about women only wanting them for their resources, right? But then you have men now saying that they are elated that the women now need them for these resources. Elated. And how they feel like that these resources are going to help save the black family. Let me tell you this. For those that are listening, please, please support the channel by subscribing. Also by, liking the video, sharing it, all the things. It'll be greatly appreciated. But let me tell y'all, it's interesting to me when you see these men talk about, well, I need a prenup. Well, I need this. I mentioned on a video before how this man was saying how he'll go get a woman from the Waffle House and marry her, and then she's gonna be so happy with him because he is taking her to this great lifestyle, right? He's so excited about this great grand lifestyle, and then you get mad when this woman, who you took from the Waffle House, and nothing wrong with women working at the Waffle House or anything like that. Nothing wrong at all. You see what I'm saying? But it's the mentality about the man and how he wants the woman to be indebted to him, basically. Because I took you out of these conditions and took you here. Okay? And so when that woman gets tired of you because you don't know how to treat her right, because of your mentality, then you get mad because she ends up leaving with something. Okay, she gonna leave with what more than what she came with. Then the men get mad. Oh my God, they shouldn't get anything. I work for that. Yeah, and she worked for that, putting up with you. But see, you need to make your living conditions pleasurable for this woman to where she want to be here. Because I tell you this, most women want to be, they want their relationship, they want their husband, they want all that. They're not looking to just leave. But if you mistreat her continuously, she gonna be ready to go. And she gonna leave with something. So yeah, so these men should be elated now since they feel that, oh, she's not gonna have her SNAP benefits. So now she wants to be with me. Those men are just so pathetic. I agree with the pathetic and desperate. And and when them women get with you just to get some food in the refrigerator, as they like to say, get some food in the cupboards, as they like to say, And when them SNAP benefits come back a coming, she gonna kick you up out of there. Okay? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to you. And you deserve every kick that you get, in my opinion, for those who believe in that type of shenanigans. Yeah, they do. Instead of men being like, first of all, why are the women needing to be on these benefit programs? Like, why are you getting these women? Um, why are they getting these women pregnant with these children and then leaving them not being in the household? Why is that? Because women, when you get, as women know, when you get pregnant, you're going through 9 months of pregnancy. Then you got your postpartum. You ain't really gonna be out here trying to date nobody new right when you have a baby. You're gonna be still trying to work something out with your child's father, typically. So yeah, so why are these men creating all these broken homes? Because there's, statistics have shown, and I don't know the numbers, but it shows that out of all there's a small number of black men that have children, a large number that don't. So you pretty much are seeing here that you have the same number of men having kids with multiple women. That's what's going on. Look up the statistics. Let me see what he's saying here. Smooth, I hope y'all get back pay. Well, that's what the law says, but now they're trying to reinterpret the law. So I saw a video that someone sent me earlier today saying that, hey, if they ask you guys to sign something, which I don't think I need to sign anything. I need to go look up my supervisor sent me. They have this statement that they feel like people need to include so that you're saying that basically I'm signing this, but I'm not waiving any of my rights that are in relation to XYZ law. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, so we are supposed to get back pay. But of course, I feel like that is a bargaining chip that is being, like a little carrot being dangled in front of someone. Like, hey, open up the government, Democrats, because if you don't, then, we're not going to back pay the people. So to me, I feel like it's a bargaining chip. Same thing as it is with the not funding the military. Same thing as it is with the, not paying for SNAP benefits, because this is what we have seen here, right? Up until D-Day, up until like the upteenth hour, it's basically, we can't do this, we can't do that. But yet, at the nick of time, they figure out how to do it. They figured out how to pay the military twice now. They have figured out how to at least give 50% of the SNAP benefits to the recipients. They are figuring this stuff out just in time. Okay? So to me, it's a tactic. Okay, we're going to put this out there. We can't. And then the Democrats like, you know what? You can. And they holding the line on whatever it is that they feel they need to hold the line on. You see what I'm saying? And then magically, these resolutions appear. Yeah. So, and what's interesting is that the current administration, as far as the president, he was in office when this law was put into effect about the back pay. Because now the two longest shutdowns, this one and the one for 2018, 2019, were both under his watch. So yeah. So there you go with that. So yeah, I'm hoping we get back paid too. It's not our fault that, these people cannot, get this together. But, we'll see. But like I told the people where I work at, I'm enjoying my time right now. I'm on here with y'all chatting and everything. Trying to, do some things on my channel, make some moves happen. Still getting out here walking and enjoying myself, doing some connections, if you will. And that's what I'm doing. So I hope that there are other people doing the same thing. That they're not just sitting in the house, concerned. I mean, you should be concerned, but at the same time, like, what can you do about it? I mean, what could have been done was in November of last year. So this is what was voted for, basically. So, there's nothing we can do right now but ride this out, until this is over with. But yeah, like I was confident that we would be in another furlough situation based off what I saw during the previous time period. So I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, what can I say? Sometimes people have to see things for themselves. And sometimes people think that, that's not going to happen to me, but it very well could happen to you. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, just saying, this should be a surprise to no one. Yep. And I knew it was going to be at least 35 days, if not longer. And we're going to be going for longer with this one. So, people need to just snap up and get ready for the ride. So yeah, and when I heard the threat of not doing the back pay, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Let me put some things in place here, and I did. So yeah, so a lot of people just sit around here thinking, oh, it's gonna go away. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. That's for sure. So, Mr. Lewin, it says today is voting day in many local elections. Yeah, the main ones that I keep hearing about is New York with Madami. Is it Madami and Cuomo? And then I want to say the Attorney General's race in Virginia is another big one I've been hearing about. And then there's one in California too. So I hadn't heard as much about California as I've heard about Virginia and New York. So definitely a lot going on today. It's voting day, and I'll be interested to hear and see, if what happens, who gets elected, and then like what does that really mean for the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that is true. I've been hearing about this voting day all day today. So for you out here that's watching, are any of you in the area that's got any local voting going on today? Yeah. So to my knowledge, I haven't. There's none here where I'm at in Maryland. So I don't live in Virginia, but if I was in Virginia, I would be somewhere voting. Let me see what Smooth Will says here. If New York elects him, they are done. It's my home state, and we will be finished. If they elect who? Is it Madami or Cuomo? Which one? And also, yeah, let me know which one. If and I never knew you were from New York. I have family in the Syracuse area, and I forgot which boroughs I have family in too. They're not in Syracuse. They're like in, I think Manhattan. I hope I said that right, or wherever else they from. So yeah, when my dad, him and his siblings, they all migrated to New York when they got out of high school and everything. So I had two aunts that stayed there for the long haul. So yeah, in the New York area. So yeah, so nice. But yeah, so New York elects him. They are done. It's my home state. Yeah, let me know, Smooth Will, if you can. Who we talking about here being elected? But yeah, so hopefully, people. I mean, I don't. Yeah, these are important elections. So hopefully it goes the way we need to go. Okay, Mamdani. Okay, so if they elect him, they are done. Okay, so who gonna be done? Because I believe Madani I think he's a Democrat rep, right? Because I was hearing about how Jeffries I think he's supported him, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was this weekend or last weekend that he gave his support. Yeah, because I've been hearing every chance I get, I've been hearing what's the speaker name, Johnson of the House. He was saying how Jeffries was forced to support him, and yes, he was forced to support him and everything, and and they're just being forced to do these things, and you could tell that he really didn't want to do it. And let me tell you that Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, he is so convincing. Let me tell you. Let me put this down some. He is so convincing, y'all. I mean, he gets up there every day and he's talking about the Democratic shutdown. He's talking about, Chuck Schumer wants to meet with me in a back room, and I won't do it. It's not right, and I'm not gonna do it. I was like, okay. But y'all, I just be watching stuff from time to time. I cut on my TV, and this is what comes on my TV. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting here. But yeah, he has that same narrative, every day he comes on this internet at his podium with that signage. I mean, they came with the signage real fast. Now I saw where Hakeem Jeffries, where he had on his I think I saw where he put something on there like Trump Republican shutdown. It's funny how they are doing all these things, right? But yes, very interesting. But yes, y'all. So what do you all have going on? What you got planned for today? For me, what else am I going to do today? I worked out, did a little cleaning around the house. I'm probably going to go out and go to the grocery store. That has been my thing, going to the grocery store, basically. But yes, I don't know, and I'm gonna definitely catch up on my show, Beauty in the Black. I'm gonna catch up on that. For whatever reason, my Netflix keeps tuning out on me. So yeah. But yes, y'all, I just wanted to, come on here and chat with y'all a little bit, see how y'all were doing and everything, tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing good over here. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if we get paid, don't get paid, we're gonna see. I promise you this. If the government employees don't get paid from this furlough right here, it's gonna look real different next year when they do when they have all these mid-year midterm elections. It's gonna be looking real different for somebody next year because that's a lot of folks that you're gonna be they're gonna be who gonna be pissed off about not getting no paycheck. Okay, they're gonna be real upset and they're gonna take it out in them polls. So if they mess around and not pay these people, it's not gonna be good for either side, honestly, in my opinion. Whether because right now, the different from looking at the different polls, right now the American people, as they like to say, are equally blaming the Democrats, the Republicans, and Trump. So at this point, it's not like, oh well, right now we're blaming this. No, they blaming everybody equally. I've been there for a while. I think all these folks is at fault for this, personally. Yeah, let me get caught up here. So Smooth Will says, what kind of workouts you do, Tiff? I do cardio. I do strength training, Pilates on occasion. Maurice Reed says, at work watching you now, hoping everything works out and people get back to work. Hey, Maurice Reed, okay, well, you at the office, okay. So, well, first of all, welcome to the live stream. Glad that you're here as well. But yeah, I hope it gets worked out soon too. Yes, I'm ready. Well, okay, I do want to. I'm ready for the option to go back to work. Let me say that. Am I ready to go back to the office? Not really, but I'm ready for the option to go back. Let me say that. So yeah, so I'm glad you're able to watch me from the office. That's cool. And yeah, so Smooth, those are the workouts that I do. Like I said, cardio, strength training, and Pilates to an extent. So when I walk the neighborhood, that could be between a mile to 2 miles, depending on my route. And then I lift weights, different things like that at the in the gym. And I use the machines sometimes, and sometimes I do free weights. So it just depends. But yeah, my back went out a couple weeks ago, so I've gotten back to my walking. I haven't gotten back to like an actual in the gym workout. I'm trying to ease back into it because my back is feeling great now and I want to keep it that way. So yes. But that's what I got going on here, y'all. But yeah, so I mean they have something going on right now at 1 o'clock that they had I think the press secretary, she was I think hosting something today at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'll probably catch the replay of that. Let me see something real quick because I got my TV going. But I'm sure that it's gonna be front and center on the feed. Um, okay, well I don't see it right now. I ain't gonna be looking for it. But yeah, so I don't know, y'all. We gonna see what happens. But like I said, let them mess around and not pay these people. It ain't gonna be good for nobody. Period. Ain't gonna be good for none of them. They may end up having a brand new party come up that's gonna run for these different races if they mess around and don't pay these folks. It would not be a good look. And we talking 35 days. We talking like 2.5 paychecks here and counting. Let me see something here. Okay. Let's see if that's gonna pull it up. Um, mm. And I think they're gonna be doing a another voting today as well. They're scheduled to do another voting today. Okay, so the Senate is in recess until 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, according to what I'm seeing on the screen here. So yeah, 119th Congress, first session. Okay, so yeah, so they will be voting today, and I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I mean, if these people are not getting together to have a conversation, they gonna keep voting on the same thing that ain't been changed. And they've been voting how many times now? We on what vote number 14, 15. They not gonna get anywhere unless unless they start communicating. And so I did see where they were talking about the other. I think it was last week. They were saying that the is it the House or is it the Senate? Maybe it's the Senate that they were going to delay their paychecks. So I'm like, yeah, about time. I mean, thought I heard someone at the door. I think it's about time. Like, if you guys can't come together to come to some type of discussion, to some type of conclusion, start working on something. What are we paying these people for? Seriously. If people are putting these folks in these positions, myself included, and y'all not gonna talk. I mean, come on now, let's do something here. Like, I understand. I think the points have been made on both sides, but I think the point that need to be made is that of the American people that want to get paid and whatnot. The SNAP, the SNAP recipients, on those people, those points need to be made. Like, pay these people. Now, I have not heard or seen much regarding like any looting. I did see a young lady that went online showing how she done went into the store and took off um the tags and things off the food. Like, she had some short ribs, y'all. She had some short ribs and took off the plastic off the short ribs. Well, not the plastic, but took off the labeling off of the plastic of the short ribs. She cannot be buzzed, you know, going out of the establishment. I'm like, really? And then I saw, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they were saying that Walmart has now put burglary tags on the food, on the meats and the food at the Walmart. Have y'all seen that? Then they're talking, they got like detention centers now. Like, if somebody get caught, still they got like a little room to put you in if you get caught stealing. I was like, well, I'm going to go by Walmart, figure out one that around here, and check this out for myself. Because I can tell you right now, at the CVS, that's about where I live at. Like, I have to hit a button and be like, hey, I want to get detergent out of this locked container, this locked glass case, right? Just to get detergent, y'all. So it's like, you know, I understand they got a business trying to run. I get it. You got a business you trying to run, and there must be a lot of stealing going on. You know what I'm saying, at these stores, but my, I never thought I would see the day when they would have detergents, fingernail polish, and the meats in the poultry section tagged down. I want to say the meat is tagged, but that detergent that I was trying to get, that was locked behind a glass container, behind a glass case, y'all. Yes, that's why when I go and buy detergent, I have to just buy more than one because I hate having to wait for somebody to walk all the way to the bag and open that case for me. Or they'd be like, oh, well, I thought somebody else did it. No, ma'am, they did not. I've been waiting here. Yes. But anyway, y'all, that's what's been going on with that. But yeah, so let me see. They got something going on at the White House here. I guess with the press secretary. But yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna talk about. But like I said, that nuclear option, I'm really because I was telling a friend of mine that I had heard when I was watching that they could do this, but I mean they don't want to do it, but they could. We just make it go ahead with a simple majority. They don't need that those 5 Democrats really do this. They get rid of this nuclear. They do this nuclear option thing, this filibuster thing. So, but it won't set a good precedent for the future if they were to do it. So I don't know. We're gonna see. I feel like a lot of things are being put out here. A lot of taxes are being put out here to do different stuff. Like, hey, do this, do that type of thing. I don't know, y'all. We're gonna see. But I don't know. So I mean, I've been on here for about 50 minutes. I was supposed to be on here for at least 30 minutes. I think I met my time that I wanted to meet. I don't know, y'all, but I'm interested to see. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one for the books here. This shutdown. It's gonna be more than 35 days. We know that. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. If you catch the replay, please comment in the replay what you're doing to, make it through this time. You know, how are you getting through? What are you doing? Any new hobbies? What are you doing here? And put like replay crew in the chat. So with that, y'all, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you all on my Thursday live stream at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.